So good morning. So let us start in Sukhasana. Coming onto your mat, and as usual, using those arms alongside, giving a little length and up, space between the vertebrae, space in the hip sockets. And then slowly lowering with the arms. Oh, squinging. How could I forget squinging? And then bringing the hands to rest on the knees, pouring down the sides of the neck off the tops of the shoulders. Long and spacious spine coming up the center line. Inhaling and exhaling, feeling your breath. Every breath subtly refining the alignment of all those bones, the bones of the spine, the balance in the pelvis, the shoulders. And then let's reach out wide through the collarbones, through the fingertips. Inhale and exhale, breathing those arms up. Inhale and exhale, breathing them down. Twice more. And then let's come forward and over, breathing across the back of the body. Inhaling and exhaling. And then coming up. And we'll have a short-term memory test here as we see which leg is in front. And then go out to Konasana, the angle pose. Using those arms alongside. Lengthening up, getting space between the vertebrae, space in the hip sockets. Be a little shifting and squinging. And landing on the sitting bones, reaching through the heels, backs of the legs, pressing down, and we will come forward. So you can push from behind, hands on the legs, hands in front. Inhaling into the center of the body, exhale, pouring. And coming back up. And then we'll change the cross of the legs, crossing the other leg in front. And then once again, reaching out wide through the collarbones, through the fingertips. Inhale and exhale, breathing the arms up, and then we'll interlock the fingers, turning the palms up, pressing up, rounding down. And then really feeling those upper arms drawing in toward the ears as we slowly release the hands to hold an invisible block up over the head. And we'll twist to the right. Lift a little higher, twist, arms float down. And arms float down. And coming back to the center. And then we'll just breathe the arms up. We won't interlock the fingers, just hold the invisible block. Inhale and exhale, twisting left, floating the arms down. And coming back to the center. And let's expand up into downward facing dog. Adho Mukha Svanasana. And walking the dog or anything else you want to do there. And letting that breath work with whatever you're doing. Inhaling and exhaling. And then finishing with whatever you're doing, finding the best downward facing dog of this moment, nothing moving but the breath. Inhaling up to those sitting bones, exhale, pouring down the backs of the legs. Coming down, sitting back into child's pose. Nice long pull back, resisting with the arms, and then settling back more easily. Inhale and exhale into the back of the body. And then coming up onto all fours. Let's take a few cats and cows. Again, letting the breath ripple through your body. All right, and then finishing with that rippling and finding the neutral spine long and flat against the ceiling. And we'll extend the right leg back and lift that right leg up off the floor, trying to keep it very parallel. Toes face the floor. Little feeling of the right inner thigh rotating in. And then extending a little longer, point the foot, reach a little more, swoop up and back, lift the collarbones in the front. And then bending that right knee, kind of like dog at the high fire hydrant. And next option is taking the left hand to the right ankle, or maybe not. Left hand to the right ankle. Did I say right? Yeah, I think I said it correctly. And then we'll put that right leg down, sitting back for a moment in child's pose. And then coming back up, and we'll do that on the left. And extending the left leg back and lifting it up, trying to be very parallel. Really flex the foot, toes toward the floor. Feel like that inner thigh is rotating a little up toward the ceiling. And then a little more swoop, pull back through the left toes, pointing the foot. Oh, pulling forward and up with the collarbone. And then bending that left leg, kind of like dog at the high fire hydrant. And maybe the right hand can find the left ankle up there. And setting that down, sitting back. And let's come up once again in downward facing dog. And we will go through the vinyasa any version you want. Forward to the plank. So I'm going to talk, but you're doing any version you want. Kneeling plank if you like, chaturanga, upward facing dog, or the small cobra, and downward facing dog. Or maybe 2 or 3 times faster than that. And let's lift our right leg up, reaching up through the heel, reaching down through the left heel. And then take a little slide forward with the upper chest, like that swoopiness that we did. And then pressing back, bending the knee, dog at the high fire hydrant. And through to the lunge. Long line from the top of the head out the left foot. So you can hold this, or maybe coming up in the high lunge, or just floating the fingers. And if you came up, coming back down, and we'll bring the left knee down. And Jayasana. Getting that right heel on the floor. And twisting to the right, wide arms, hooking the left arm over the outside of the right leg, and then around to Namaste. And to the center. And straighten up that left leg. And let's step back to the plank. Through the vinyasa and inversion, downward facing dog. And we will lift our left leg up, reaching down through the right heel. And then a little slide forward, just a little bit, looking a little forward and up, reach a little more through the left leg. Pressing back, bending the left knee, dog at the high fire hydrant. Through to the lunge. And you can hold this low lunge, float the fingers, maybe coming up in the high lunge for a few breaths. And if you came up coming down, bringing that right knee down in Jayasana, the kneeling lunge. And we'll twist to the left, hooking the right arm over the outside of the left leg, pulling wide, hands to Namaste. And Namaste to the center. And stepping back, any version vinyasa, downward facing dog. And taking 3 deep breaths here in downward facing dog. Looking between the hands to jump or step forward. Into the concave back, halfway up. Folding over, taking a few breaths here in the forward bend. Coming up to standing, big front body yawn. Pressing the arms down. Inhale and exhale, Namaste. Staying there for a few breaths. All right. And circling the shoulders to interlock the fingers behind. Lengthen the chest to lift the chin. Lift a little more, coming over, pressing out through the hands, hinging over. And release the hands. Concave back, halfway up. Folding over, and we'll come back up to standing again, into the front body yawn. And arms down, long through the top of the head. And again, like that, a sort of half sun salute, interlocking the fingers, lengthening up the front of the body to lift the chest, to lift the chin, and coming over. Release the hands. Concave back halfway up. Folding over. And coming back up to standing. Big front body yawn. And around to Namaste. All right, then we'll go to the chair pose, taking the ripply journey to the chair pose. So we front body yawn. Still in that arch, bend the knees, maybe arch a little more. And then the arms reach around behind and come forward. You take a little tuck of that pelvis and then level everything out. Pulling back in the hip joints, reaching forward and up, lots of strength in the upper back. And releasing over. Concave back. Folding over. And we're going to come back up again to standing. Reach behind yourself with the arms, almost like the interlocked fingers. Hold an invisible block there as you pull yourself up from behind and arms come up. And front body yawn. Let's go back to Utkatasana through that ripple a little more smoothly. And releasing over. And this time we will continue. Let's step back with the left leg. And we'll come up in the warrior one, turning that left foot down. Make sure it doesn't cross under the right leg. And coming up in the warrior number one. Inhale up the front, exhale, pouring down. And Namaste in front. Namaste into the floor, stepping forward. Into the concave back, folding over. And we'll step back with the right leg. Same thing. Coming up in the warrior one. Seeing where this pose is for your body today. And Namaste in front, into the floor, stepping forward, into the concave back, folding over, and this time we will jump or step back, Vinyasa, downward facing dog. And let's lift the right leg up. Dog at the high fire hydrant, and we're going to take a hover plank, knee coming forward, and swooping back up. And through to the lunge, warrior number one again. And then feeling like you're holding that invisible block between the hands up there. And we're going to reach that invisible block long and forward on the diagonal. And then swing the arms down and behind you, hold the invisible block behind you. And then reaching through the fingertips back up to the warrior one, scooping up from behind, scooping the tailbone down, bringing the upper body up and over. And so we're doing a circle back and reaching forward, hold the invisible block. Swing the arms back, hold the invisible block. Don't swing the arms again, just hold from behind and they come up and around. Yeah, let's try that twice more. Reaching forward, swing the arms back, pulling back, and those arms rotate around and come up overhead. There we go, once more. Just in case our right thigh isn't shaking enough. And come. And namaste in front, namaste into the floor. Turn the left heel back up, pick the right leg up in the hover plank. And we'll swoop it up to three-legged dog. And then we will come to the Shin Lunge. So the right leg hover planks forward again, sliding along the shin, pressing out good through that left heel. And then sitting off onto your right outer hip and turning the left leg up and kind of smooching it forward into the half dragonfly, getting onto both sitting bones. So remember there on the screen there, I'm not the mirror, I'm doing the real right and left. All right, here we are, half dragonfly, right leg, front of the mat leg bent, left leg back of the mat leg straight. And let's bring the right arm up, bend the elbow, getting hold of that elbow. Two long parallel sides. And then over to the left. Thinking more about stretching that right arm than doing the biggest side bend ever at the moment. And then maybe going for a little more side bending as things settle in. And letting that right elbow start to rotate down to the left. And then we'll release the elbow, turning to face the left leg, coming forward over the left leg toward the back of the mat, Shavasana. Reaching back through the right sitting bone, reaching out through the right knee in the other direction. And coming up, and then we're going to switch legs. Extend the right leg out and bending the left leg in. Half dragonfly on the other side. And we're going to do the same sort of thing, bringing the left arm up, the leg towards your bent leg, the back of the mat leg, bending the left elbow, getting hold of that with the right hand. Taking a few breaths, making those two long parallel sides. And then over to the right, toward the straight leg, the front of the mat leg. Maybe a little more. Go toward the straight leg. And then a little rotate down. And release the elbow coming forward over that right leg. Hopefully we did one side and then the other. And coming up. And then we're going to take that left leg, the bent leg, and just bring it across the right leg. So maybe you're on sort of a diagonal there. Maybe you pivoted to face the front of the mat square. Doesn't matter. Just look, where are your hips pointing? Where is your right leg pointing? That's the front. All right, standing on the left foot long through the top of the head. Let's twist left. Inhale and exhale. And back to the center, and then we'll just uncross the leg and expand in a forward bend at the front of the mat. Oh. And here we are. Take a couple breaths. And we'll Utkatasana, the chair pose, hinging back, reaching forward and up. And then we'll twist to the right. The opposite side we just twisted. Nice wide arms. And then bringing that right hand around to Namaste, leaving the left still in the twist. Namaste to the center. And then pressing the feet into the floor, unfolding the joints up to Tadasana. Inhale and exhale. Inhaling up the front of the body, exhale, pouring down the back. And then we will go on the other side. Let's take a big front body yawn up. And diving over. Concave back, folding over, vinyasa, downward facing dog. And there we are. And let's lift the left leg and dog at the high fire height. Over plank, left knee forward. And swooping back up, three-legged dog. Through to the lunge, warrior number 1. And thinking about holding that invisible block up there between your hands. And reaching on a long diagonal, holding your invisible block. Swinging the arms behind, hold that invisible block. All right, so this is a little weird. So you have to do a big rotation through the upper arm as you do this, pulling back with the fingers. The palms will rotate forward and then come up and over with the arms, holding the block overhead again. All right, let's try that 3 more times. Or a number of your choice. Reaching forward, holding the block. Arms swing back, hold the block. And then to do this circle, let the palms rotate forward. And then scooping up. Twice more. Reaching long. Swing back, hold the block. And then palms turn forward as the arms come up. And forward. Arms swing back. I think this is the last time. And then turning and up. We agree that that was the 4th time altogether. Close enough. Namaste in front. And hands into the floor. Lifting the right heel up, taking the left leg up, hover plank. Swooping that left leg back up behind you, 3-legged dog. And then Shin Lunge, hover plank, and then slide that shin. And pressing back through the right heel. And then sitting off onto the left hip and scoot that right leg to wherever it needs to be to get both sitting bones on the floor. And so move that right leg forward enough to get that right sitting bone onto the floor. There we go. A half dragonfly. And let's bring the left arm up, bend the elbow, getting hold of the elbow. The arm toward the bent leg, the arm toward the front of the mat. And then over toward the right leg. And turning on a little diagonal down. And release the arms, turning to face the right leg, coming forward over that right leg, Parvrida Janu, not Parvrida, Janu Shavasana. And then from here, we're going to Parvrida. So reaching out with the left arm and twisting up underneath to the left. Coming up underneath your left arm into the side bend over the right leg. It is actually a twisted forward bend over the right leg. And a big lift up. And let's see, extending our left leg out and bending the right. So now the front of the mat leg is straight, the back of the mat leg is bent. Most importantly, the other legs. It's sitting evenly on the sitting bones, and we'll bring the right arm up, bending the elbow, getting hold of the elbow. So bend the right elbow, reaching the hand down. Nope, switch arms. There. So put your right hand down towards your shoulder blade more. That's that one. Yeah, put that there. Now take the left hand up and get the right elbow. There we go. Yeah, our body wants to go back to the side that was familiar already from having just done it. All right, we got our two parallel sides and then over the left leg. And a little diagonal down toward the left leg, looking down at your left leg, not away from it, toward it, and then release that right arm facing the left leg. Shavasana, coming forward over the left leg. All right, and then we'll Parivrtta from here. So reaching through the right arm, twisting right, coming up under your right arm, twisting up into the side bend, which at least from the yoga pose view of this is actually a twisted forward bend. And coming back. And then we'll take our right leg and turning toward the front-ish of the mat, crossing the right leg over the left. And maybe you've squared up, maybe you're still a little diagonal. Just seeing where is your front of the body. And we will twist to the right. Inhale and exhale toward the top. And back to the center. And uncrossing the leg will come up in the forward and getting squared up to the front of the mat, expanding the legs. Taking a few deep breaths here, arriving back on our feet in a nice place of symmetry with no rights and lefts or twists and bends, well, forward bend. And then Utkatasana, the chair pose, sitting back, reaching forward. And we'll twist to the left, the opposite of where we just twisted. Good. Wide arms for a few breaths. And then bringing the left hand around to Namaste, still in the twist. And Namaste in the center. And pressing the feet down, unfolding all those joints. Inhale up the front, exhale down the back, unfolding those joints even more. And then let's do the tree pose. Nice and simple. And so you can hold the hands in Namaste, as we so often do. I find that helps my balance. I feel like I'm holding on with my hands. Or maybe taking the arms up overhead. If you're feeling steady enough, do the interlocked fingers for a moment. And then release the hands and really try to hold an invisible block up there. All right, so here we go. And we will bring the right leg up. No, that's fine, I'll do the other leg. Doesn't matter, we're doing one leg and then the other. Right leg coming up. Maybe we're fine where we are, or if you want, try bringing the arms up overhead. Interlocking the fingers. Once you can get there with the interlocked fingers, it's actually pretty steadying. And then maybe letting go with the hands, holding the invisible block. And then we'll finish here, bringing that right leg down. Other side. Take a breath being in that Tadasana, and then bringing the left leg up. Standing on the inner thigh. And just nice and simple at first, finding your balance, finding that steadiness. Breathing. And then maybe breathing the arms up. And interlocking the fingers. We ground down and reach up. And then you can hold the invisible block, releasing the hands. And bringing those arms down, bringing the foot down. Inhale and exhale, Tadasana, Samastiti. And then here we are at the front of our mats. And let's come up. Big inhale up. Maybe an extra circle with the arms here in our front body, yawn. And then coming over. We'll make our way back to downward facing dog, vinyasa or not. And let's lift the right leg up. Dog at the high fire height. Hover plank knee forward. And swooping up. And then we'll go to the pigeon. So we bring the knee to the right elbow. Rotate that right knee out. Swing the right shin to the left and coming down. Not the Shin Lunge. Hopefully we all made it. Sometimes after our body's gotten acclimated to Shin Lunge, then all of a sudden, oh, we have to think harder about that fly to the pigeon, which I've done more commonly. And here we all are, doing that cobra action up the front, and down the back. And coming forward and over, sleeping pigeon. And coming up. And then we're going to slide that right leg behind, coming into the Sphinx. Pulling back with the elbows, pulling back with the hands. 2 pigeon pose back legs. And tailbone into the floor, bending the knees. And maybe this is enough. Or if you want to come into bow pose, getting hold of those ankles, lengthening to lift. Calming down. And then we will peel ourselves back up to downward facing dog. Maybe a couple cat and cow ripples along the way. You could even put in another vinyasa if you want it. And then we'll go on the left. Expanding out. And lifting the left leg. Dog at the high flyer hydrants. And hover plank, knee forward. Swooping back up. And then to the pigeon, knee to the left elbow, swivel the shin, and into the pigeon. And breathing in that cobra action here. Coming forward and over, sleeping pigeon. And coming up. And sliding the left leg behind you into the Sphinx. Pulling with the elbows, pulling with the hands. And reaching on through the toes, bend the knees. And maybe this is enough. Or once more into the bow pose. Remember, the bow pose doesn't necessarily have to be your most teeth-gritting, effortful bow pose either. And then we will finish with this. Taking a few breaths, melting off the sides of the back into the floor in a little downward facing Shavasana. And if you're comfortable here on your stomach, you can stay here or rolling onto your back, either one. And then adapting for whatever position you're in, breathing back into the body. If there's fingers and toes, you can move, doing that. And then stretching the arms overhead, bending the knees. If you're on your stomach, you can peel up either onto all fours or maybe pulling into a child's pose. And then we will all gently make our way up to sitting. Sitting in any comfortable position with that long and spacious spine. Taking a few more moments, sitting quietly inside yourself. Namaste. Thank you for coming. All right, let's see. There we go.